Howdy friends, Tadas here, Insomniac next door. So I've done a few crazy things in my life to try to deal with this condition. Uh, I've had insomnia for over 3.5 years, and I've condensed my top five insane, crazy, stupid things I did to try to deal with it, to try to make it better, to try to find answers. And I've gone through quite a few things, and anyways, in no sequence of importance. Number one, my wife thought this is related. Makes me laugh just trying to remember this thing. It's related um, to a long relationship back in California. So anyway, she was convinced that this was a herx. It was a herx from a jealous friend of hers who was in competition to date me as well. So anyway, so she was convinced that this a girlfriend of hers put a herx both on me and on her, and especially on my health and so on. So we went to a different town and saw like something like a shaman, I guess, right? And he did what do you call it, like a procedure, a rites or whatever, to remove the herx. And he was convinced. The first thing he said when we walked in, he said, "Both of you have been cursed." And I was trying not to piss my pants from laughter, and he was a bit pissed at me that I wasn't taking it seriously, but my wife was taking it dead seriously. So anyways, it was an adventure. So he removed the herx, apparently, supposedly, and off we went. Paid some good, decent money for it. Needless to say, that was all bullshit. Didn't help me a bit. I was hoping, at least some sort of placebo effect would take effect, but I was really laughing through the whole time, and he didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance, really. I didn't take it seriously. I couldn't. The guy had like a chameleon, one eye staring in one corner, the other eye was staring down, staring down in a different direction. I just could not look at him and take him seriously. I'm sorry. So number two thing that I did, I was pretty convinced that this was a house. We moved here to Eastern Europe, to Lithuania from California, and I started having sleep issues here, and I thought this was a house. So I was like, this is a feng shui thing. So we did feng shui and everything, and I changed rooms and I changed beds, and I thought I thought it was a room causing this, but this is actually not a stupid thing to do. If you're not sleeping, try to change direction in the bed, like face east or north. Try different directions, really. Look it up on the internet. There's different philosophies of where you should be facing, should be pointing your head towards. But in general, I think it's towards east and north overall for best sleep, for most refreshing sleep. Has to do with your magnetic fields, aligning your own energy field with magnetic fields of the earth. If you're that sensitive, you may have an effect. So try that. I even tried to move to another house, to my mom's house, to sleep there for a few nights, but I was even more miserable. It was a different bed, a different kitchen. I had to walk downstairs in the middle of the night. I was tripping on things. It was weird. I'm used to my own kitchen in the middle of the night, so that didn't work. So number three was I hired a nutritionist, and I'll do another video about that guy. But he was from California, and he thought I'm suffering from a methylation issue, which is basically your body's not breaking down certain nutrients and not breaking down neurotransmitters and so on, like histamine and that kind of stuff. So, and he thought I was copper toxic, that my body was accumulating copper and becoming toxic, attacking the nervous system. Decent theory, except everything that he gave me made me so much more miserable. He really gave me really bad fatigue. I felt like my legs were wooden. I just could not walk. I mean, it was so bad. He thought it was just like a healing crisis, but this was like bullshit crisis. it made me from bad to worse, really. I mean, with his protocol and different supplements, amino acids, digestion enzymes, all this kind of crap. I spent hundreds of dollars for his consultation and then supplements. It was insane. I would just, I'm, all I'm, I'm not saying don't hire a nutritionist. It's probably a good idea. Just make sure the guy knows what he's doing. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. He knew his stuff. He had a degree. He had a education in Chinese medicine. I was looking for those kind of qualifications. Anyways, made me worse. Stupid. No, the fourth thing, that was a really big surprise, and it took me a while to figure out that was causing me be more miserable. And I was convinced that this is related, and it still is, right? But to the central nervous system, to your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And so I thought a thigh massage, deep tissue massage, should be able to calm my system down. And I'm a king of paradoxical reactions, by the way, and you might be too. I hear insomniacs are, to all sorts of supplements, and Thai massage stimulated the crap out of me. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I mean, it was like I felt like my two fingers were plugged in a 220 socket, and I could not sleep at all. I was miserable as hell. And, I thought maybe this was like some sort of supplements I was taking and so on. And then later I kept researching. I said, this doesn't make sense. The massage should make me better. But if your body is not breaking down histamine and you have a histamine overload, which is works as a stimulant for a nervous system, what the massage does, it actually stimulates the mast cells to release massive amounts of histamine. And your body is not breaking it down, right? So normally you go to a massage and you feel a little woozy, you feel like almost you're catching a cold or something, right? I don't know if you've done that, but so that's usually what it is. It's you're releasing massive doses of histamine, stimulating your lymphatic system, but your body is able to cope with it. Your liver breaks it down, and no problem. For me, obviously, I still think it is some sort of a methylation issues. I overloaded my system with histamine, and I was miserable. And I went to 3 massages, and I finally told the guy, I'm sorry, I think this is making me worse. And he thought I was nuts, right? He was another person who thought I was just crazy. I need to go see somebody to address those issues. But lo and behold, it took me 10 days to recover. I stopped it. took 10 days, bam, started feeling better, flushed the histamine out and so on. And number 5, I saw a Tibetan medicine specialist who among many things, he thought this was a La problem. And La, I thought he was being, funny, I'm talking about Italian, but it's in Tibetan medicine. It's basically, it has to do with leaking energy from your body. And so he convinced me that I'm leaking energy. The funniest thing is from these 2 ring fingers. He thought I was leaking energy from these 2 ring fingers. I have, and he suggested I buy silver rings. I wore them for maybe a month, and I was so pissed. It didn't help me at all. And I said them. I was gonna wear them for you just to show you for fun, but I forgot this time. But anyways, the Tibetan medicine guy was full of it too. Unfortunately, it didn't help me, no silver rings. I spent, of course, more money on that and his recommendations. So there are other things. I'm sure you've done your share. If you have, leave some comments. It'd be interesting to hear. These are the 5 stupidest, craziest things that I did. And I'm sure in the future I'll have another report of more of these things. So, all right, well, wishing you well, sleep well someday. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.